The Bears in the white, the visitors from Ames in the cardinal and gold. Baylor will have the opening serve. And it's Sedgwick, the senior from Des Moines, Iowa, with the honors.
Certainly a special game for Hannah Sedgwick. I know this year the face-off is here in Waco, but last year both of the matches were there at Iowa State, so much closer to home for Hannah Sedgwick.
Sedgwick, 5th all-time in career assists for the Bears, and Baylor draws first blood. Bears on the board.
Avery Skinner and Andressa Parise combined for that to really kind of start the match with that mentality of we're going to stop Iowa State at the net. With their hitting efficiency, it's something that is certainly something that needs to be done.
Parise there, the senior middle blocker out of Brazil. Parise, 2019 JUCO All-American. Sedgwick, service error. Iowa State with the point, and now their first serve coming of the match. Maria Popovic, a senior from Belgrade, Serbia. Barrel right at her opposite. Now Skinner. Cyclones unable to keep it afloat. Baylor hoping to take this one. Well, always hoping to take it in 3, but particularly against a team like Iowa State, as they are unbeaten in 5 setters.
Yeah.
Vance there with the big swing. Now Presley. Presley unable.
Great coverage by Parise.
Parise there on the spot.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot with Yassiana Presley, but the thing to remember about all of her accolades and everything she's done is every team has her number. Every team has her highlighted on the scouting report. And so to get blocked early on, that's them just trying to execute their game plan with her.
Able to get it over that time. Harrison, you and I received a senior superlative sheet earlier this week, and for all the seniors, all 11 of them, which will be honored tomorrow night. Yassiana Presley, her superlative sheet took up almost an entire page on its own.
Yeah, single-spaced, I might add.
I believe that was a 8-point font as well.
Yeah, this Baylor team, especially with some of the experience that these seniors have had, talking to Ryan McGuire about, senior night,
So it will indeed stand. No touch. Early challenge there from Christy Johnson-Lynch going against the Cyclones. Bram Schreiber, senior out of Lovejoy High School there in the Metroplex. Her high school, they'll be playing for a state championship at the 5A level tomorrow. Harrison able to get that one through, took a touch, and the Bears now extending to this lead.
Bram Schreiber's coach at Lovejoy was Ryan Mitchell. He now is the coach of Prestonwood Christian Academy, but has him and his team over there watching the game here tonight in Waco.
Bears with the touch there at the net, unable to get to it. The state championships here in the Lone Star State taking place this week. We had the 1A champion crowned earlier, Fayetteville. Congratulations to them. We will have the rest of our classification champions crowned today and tomorrow up there at the Colwell Center in Garland. Now, Iowa State tying things. They had it tied at 3, and now again at 5. Cyclones right here in the teeth of the bear pit, showing no fear. Harrison will get a touch. Sedgwick again, Harrison. Gets a third opportunity. Popovic is there and finding that hole in the center of the Baylor defense.
with a few more out-of-system swings in that rally than we're used to seeing from them.
Iowa State taking a lead. If the Cyclones can extend this. Presley off balance, able to put it around the antenna. Now Harrison. Eda. Big point here. Who comes away with it?
Yeah, a lot of back and forth.
Bramschreiber able to keep it in, and the Cyclones happy to take that big point and extend this early advantage.
And he Hatch with the kill on the outside for the Cyclones.
Hatch, the junior out of Arizona. Baylor, when you need it, go to Presley. Good it there, Harrison at the net. Baylor going to come away with it alongside Anderson.
Lauren Harrison, the transfer from North Carolina, first season with the Bears was last season. Certainly a strange season with all of the COVID protocols, but just a player that has jumped into this Baylor team and made a big difference early on.
Baylor, a lot of transfer talent. A lot of talent as well, who spent all 4 years here. Some of them getting that 5th year because of the COVID year. Electing to stay here for another year, why not?
Yeah, we talk about some of those senior superlatives, and the majority of those seniors are getting to get a master's degree while they're here at Baylor. Iowa State has some players in the same situation, so definitely some benefits to that extra year for these student athletes.
Eda there, unable to get the touch she was looking for. Bears able to tie things up. Presley to serve. Big swing. Schreiber able to keep it up. Now Harrison. And Eda. And Schreiber on the spot. Saw that one was not. Bears will take it.
Chanel Bramschreiber last year was named the Big 12 Libero of the Year, first player in Baylor program history to receive that honor. So pretty special, pretty groundbreaking what Chanel Bramschreiber has done.
Earlier this week, she was named the Cosida Academic All-District First Team as well. Impressive not just on the court, but in the classroom.
Great serve by Presley to get the Cyclones out of system.
New ball back to the Bears, over to Harrison. To dump it over, and does. Skinner unable to keep it up. Back and forth affair early on. Iowa State not letting the Bears pull ahead. Eda, the Argentine national team member, is with them in Tokyo. Eda played started 3 of those 5 matches, I should say. Yeah. Saw action in all of them for Las Panteras. Actually elected to stay down in Argentina with her club team in the spring. Did not come back to Ames until late this summer.
Pretty special to have that kind of experience while you're still in college, to be able to play for your national team.
Spotted her when she was just about 16, and a big swing for the kill. Harrison with it for the Bears. Breseño, freshman out of San Antonio, to serve. Set over, able to get the kill. Iowa State, Hatch starting to heat up.
Yeah, we talk a lot about Herrera, we talk a lot about Holthouse for this Cyclone team, but Annie Hatch has been the player that's kind of kicked him off here tonight.
Defensively, she's been there all season for the Cyclones. She was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. And a match against the 7th-ranked team in the country, you're going to need all hands on deck, and so far that has been the case for Iowa State. Callie Williams, senior. Transfer from Tennessee, there to serve. Popovich over for Hatch again. Hatch, so far, looks like the attack for Cyclones going through number 9. Hatch with the service. Presley off the mark. See the Cyclones gaining confidence. Certainly weren't lacking it early, but tight affair here in the first set. Skinner. Holthouse unable to get there. Skinner will take it. About Avery Skinner, the Texan out of Katy, transfer from the University of Kentucky.
Yeah, pretty cool transfer that you have in Avery Skinner. You talk about win a national championship and then just come on down to Baylor and say, I want to win one here. So pretty cool to have her join this Baylor team that has been such a powerhouse already.
Not bad to get an All-American as a graduate transfer. On cue, Skinner has the Baylor connection. Her father, a former Baylor basketball player in his own right, then 14 years in the association. Sure, she has some great memories here and happy to make some of her own. Sedgwick for Parise. House receiving. Just when you think Baylor may have the opportunity to go on a run, rattle off a few in a row, the Cyclones are able to come right back. They are watching any momentum Baylor is able to build.
Yeah, big kill there, courtesy of Avery Rhodes, a Waco, Texas local, went to Midway High School, so this is kind of her one home game of the season, being all the way in Ames, Iowa.
Rhodes, a 4-year letter winner there at Midway. Our Cyclones have lost only once in the month of November, and that was their last match when they lost in straight sets to Kansas State, hoping to remedy that tonight, but it is going to be a tall task against the number 7 team in the country.
Yeah, Johnson Lynch just has so much experience with Iowa State, being part of that Cyclone family. I remember whenever I would play them, that was one of the coaches I enjoyed playing against the most, just because of the skills she had, the talent, how much her players respected her. So love that she's part of the Big 12.
Popovich there. Now looking for Herrera. Harrison, a massive swing, powers it down, and Baylor takes the first point out of the timeout.
Big kill for Harrison, taking another look at that, straight through the block, straight back to that 6th position, makes for 3 kills on the night for Harrison.
Harrison, the junior out of Georgia, by way of UNC Chapel Hill. For Herrera, so far, Cyclones have not been able to get her going the way they would hope, but they'll take the point here. Baylor off target.
Marika Vandermark in the middle for Baylor. She's 6'5" from the Netherlands. Just a standout player, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. Love watching her swing. Typically a opposite hitter, now switched to the middle for the season because it's what the team needed from her.
And doing whatever needed. I'm about to say rare lefty middle blocker, but when called upon, raise the hand, in her case the left hand, and there she is. Bears have not led by more than 3 here into the first set. Vandermark. Schreiber. Effort at the line, just couldn't get underneath it. Back and forth affair here in the first set. Is Anna getting ready to serve. Bronze medalist in the Pan Am Games back in 2019, and Iowa State ties things at 17. Cyclones continue. Anna looking to give the visitors the lead. Free ball back to the Cyclones. They're sending it back. They're at the net, unable to get it by Vandermark. And Baylor happy to take it. You see the reaction from Vandermark. Sedgwick there, and Sedgwick mentioned 5th all-time in career assists, but she's one of the best blocking setters in the country as well.
She is, standing at 6'1". I think a lot of teams that run a 5'1" have that. When their setter comes into the front row, it's this liability, not getting as many blocks, but not the case for Hannah Sedgwick. She slows a lot of balls down at the net.
Sedgwick, another one of those COSIDA Academic first team all-district honorees for the Bears. Vandermark coming up with a finger. I don't know if she's old enough to know who Dikembe Mutombo is. The Cyclones will take a timeout in Florida.
Yeah, and took on a lot of those on the road. So Baylor said, we're going for it, or we're putting our money where our mouth is in doing this.
Match Briseño. Now Sedgwick over to Skinner. Skinner with the kill. Avery Skinner just under 4 kills a set, hitting just shy 28%.
Yeah, 5 kills on 5 attempts tonight. Playing perfectly, I guess you could say, but hitting 1,000 for Avery Skinner.
279 coming into tonight's match for Skinner. Over to Hatch. Had some success earlier in this set. Now back with her. Sedgwick to Presley. No mistake like death in taxes.
Briseño, the true freshman for the Bears, really the only freshman that has consistently been playing with this Baylor team. So to get this experience with some of these seniors is pretty unique for Briseño.
Service error for the Alamo City native. Jaden Newsom, the senior, another Lone Star State product out of Clearbrook High School. They're in the greater Houston area. Sedgwick looking to dump it over. Sedgwick, just great vision, saw the opportunity and took it. Williams, she closed things out here in the first for the Bears. Williams, the error just off target. Back to a 3-point deficit for the Cyclones. So I say that, and Hatch, a big mistake. She could have brought it within 2. And now it's the Bears who are 2 away from taking the first set. Old house, back to Baylor. Skinner. Second opportunity and a third, has it. That'll make it set point Bears.
Baylor really put their foot on the gas at the right time here in these past 5 points to take this lead.
Remember, we were tied at 17. Baylor indeed putting their foot on the gas here. Now can they find this last one? Skinner says yes indeed, and the Bears take the first set 25-19, firmly toward the regionals.
Yeah, Baylor playing later in the season, that Tuesday, Wednesday kind of helps to give them a little more downtime before the tournament.
And looking as I jumped ahead from the first and second rounds of the regionals, important to get those. Let's not look ahead.
That's a good point.
As good as the Bears are.
True.
I would say pencil them in. You can probably do more than that. But
a really strong pen.
There we go. I don't think Coach McGuire would like hearing me say that.
Probably not. Maybe he won't listen.
Like to keep on his good side. Skinner sent back again from Sedgwick. Skinner looking over for Holthouse. Holthouse, who was a huge part of that victory last Thursday over Kansas State there at Hilton Coliseum, has not been able to get involved. The Bears striking first in set number 2 as they did in the first.
Parise with her second kill on the night. Love this player. Love that she's getting to really show up and shine for Baylor on this big night against Iowa State.
Parise from Santa Catarina, Brazil, by way of St. Petersburg College. Parise getting her second consecutive start. Going to start in that second match up in Fort Worth against the TCU. Skinner unable to get there in time. Stone Street, an Olathe, Kansas product.
Skinner with 7 kills on the night. She's hitting .875, just playing absolutely out of her mind.
Also add to that 5 digs.
Oh yeah, sorry, forgot about those.
Pretty impressive showing thus far from Avery Skinner. Holthouse. Ramschreiber heading over. That one out of her reach. Mentioned Holthouse, first for the Cyclones in kills. So far, just 2 this evening.
Yeah, Baylor doing a good job of slowing her down at the net.
Harrison. Newsome there. Assisted was Jaden Newsome. Iowa State, shades of what we saw in that first set, keeping the Bears within distance, at least until those final 6 points when Bears took 6 of the final 8. Ramschreiber, who battled injury earlier this year, looking back, very close to 100%, if not quite there, and that is good news for the Bears as they start to look to the postseason. Baylor's had a bit of success in athletics the last few years, something you would know about. I read it earlier this week that there are 9 Baylor teams ranked in the top 15 currently.
Yeah, I mean, they posted a tweet this past week of the graphic of what everyone was ranked, and it was almost every single sport program was tagged in the tweet. Pretty special time to be at Baylor. Makes it really fun, especially Ryan McGuire talked earlier this week just about how all the coaches are so supportive of each other. You'll see men's and women's basketball at volleyball games, volleyball at their game. So really fun culture, fun nature that's around these programs and their success.
It's that family atmosphere that draws so many here to Waco, and something you know a whole lot about. I don't have to tell you.
Yes, but I love hearing it.
Harrison. And bring the Bears back within 1. Anderson unable to find her spot. Herrera goes cross court and has it. Iowa State now with a 3-point lead. Talked about Candelaria Herrera first in the conference in blocks. She can get it done on attack as well, and they're going to need her on both sides tonight. Presley, big dig that time from Anderson. Harrison. Bears take it as it took a touch. Indeed a good time to be a Baylor Bear, all the success they have had. It's no doubt going to continue. Herrera, Anderson, and Harrison there with the block party.
Yeah, a couple of good back-to-back points there by Harrison with one just heavy arm kill and then turns around and does it on the other side with a block.
Able to get it through. Hatch finds enough space.
Annie Hatch with 4 kills now on the night, tied with Herrera for leading Iowa State in kills. Really showing up. Love that Annie Hatch is absolutely going for it at the net against this number 7 ranked Baylor team.
Presley just long. Thought she had it measured, and that one centimeters, not inches off. Iowa State looking for their largest lead of the match. They will have it. Harrison tried to go cross court, couldn't find it, and Bears trying to buck each other up right now, trying to pull that momentum back to their side of the court. This will certainly help. Briseño coming on in the spot of Harrison. Mentioned Briseño, the true freshman out of Cornerstone Christian there in San Antonio, one of 4 spring enrollees for the Bears volleyball team.
Oh, that was kind of tricky. It almost looked like it hit the ground.
Yeah, it looked like that one may have had the pancake underneath it.
Yeah.
Coach McGuire's done a very good job of mixing talent from across the state of Texas with some talent from across the country. And as much talent as there is in the Lone Star State, you don't have to go very far.
Yeah. That is true. Waco being so central, you can kind of equally recruit Dallas, Houston, Austin, and kind of be able to reach each of those places.
I've been told there's some pretty good high school volleyball in the Metroplex.
Yeah, that's what people say.
Looking at the teams that'll be in the state championship, it is very well represented. Some teams that you know, I'm sure, played against in your high school career.
Yes, absolutely. We last broadcast, we were talking about how Callie Williams won a state championship with Bishop Lynch, and my team was the team she beat, so that one was a little less fun to talk about.
I will leave that to another broadcaster to bring up. I was going to let that one go, but
oh man, it was just like 8-10 years ago. Still stings.
It probably always will. That's how it is for competitors. Briseño.
Bramschreiber finding that one.
Over to Skinner, try to dump it over. Hatch on the spot. In for Skinner, and rises above for the kill, does Avery Skinner.
Fourth in that first set until those final points, and we've seen a little bit of that in this second set. Hasn't looked too much different, so it will be interesting to see as we get going further in the second set what changes might make.
Anderson and Sedwig there for the Bears. Iowa State, they're going to have to improve upon this hitting percentage if they're going to figure out a way to get back into this one. As you said, the first set back and forth, the Bears looking to take control of the second. Briseño, Holthouse able to get there in time, reaching back. Got enough of it, did the Waco native. Rhodes. In a homecoming of sorts for the former Midway star. Newsom, the Mizzou transfer. Over to Skinner, absolutely obliterated it.
What a night for Avery Skinner. 9 kills on only 11 attempts.
Skinner, the first team All-American last year with Kentucky, alongside a little bit of hardware as well. Parise. Middle blocker found it, and no mistake from the Brazilian.
Parise, like you said, really jumped into this lineup in that second match against TCU and really hasn't turned back. Such an impact that she's made on this Baylor team in the past week.
Well, the Bears, you consider what they've been able to do. Winners of 9 of their past 10 matches, hitting top team in the conference, their only conference loss of the year. Would have beat the Burnt Orange here in Waco. Bears coming off that 2-0 victory up in Fort Worth against TCU, but it wasn't easy.
No, it really wasn't. And I think that's where you look at the Big 12, and it's not just sweep after sweep after sweep for these top teams. They have to show up and compete every single night.
Skinner with another kill.
Goodness
her
gracious.
10th already in double digits. Hitting 833, and at least we forget the 7 digs as well.
Sorry, Avery.
Williams. And back to Briseño. Now over to Skinner. Skinner looking to make it 11. Cannot. His Holt. And off the block it goes for a Cyclones point. Katie, you and I were speaking earlier about the parity in the Big 12. And you look at all the teams, you look at the depth, and maybe a bit of separation in the top 2. But aside from that, I think 3 through 12, anyone could beat anyone on any given night.
Yeah, I think we look at this Baylor, Texas, and over the past few years, it kind of has consistently had this rhythm of that's the game that everyone's waiting for, what's going to happen in that Baylor, Texas match. But yeah, you watch these teams, and they really have to show up every night. I think there are other conferences where there is a larger disparity to where, you know, the better team just always wins pretty easily, but that is not the case in the Big 12.
Van Slate on to serve. Senior, Cy Ridge High School in Houston. Parise there. Tried to go right at number 2, and she wasn't having it.
Callie Williams in setting for Baylor. Love this kind of unique dynamic that Baylor has. They have All-American setter Hannah Sedgwick, but then Callie Williams right behind her.
Career high in digs, that is 13. She set earlier this year in her Bear debut against Minnesota. Chance to break that tonight. And Slate out there. It's from a family of Bears, as is so often the case. And that is one thing about the green and gold. It definitely runs through the veins.
It does. It is really fun. I came here just to play volleyball, so first in my family, but my hope is that my kids, their kids would all come here because it is a fun legacy.
Such a great community, and something that all student athletes, they comment on, the welcoming atmosphere.
Yeah.
Schreiber. Herrera unable to get it by Harrison, and at the block, Anderson alongside Presley.
Take another look at that. Wonderful block by Yassiana Presley and Presley Anderson.
Anderson able to keep that one up. Nice reflexes from the middle blocker. Baylor, all of a sudden, just 6 points away from taking a 2-0 lead. Iowa State trying to claw back into this one. This is where Baylor really put their foot on the gas in that first set.
Yeah.
To give you an idea, it was 10-6. In favor of Cyclones. Baylor rectifying that situation quickly. Presley to Stone Street. Anderson there. Anderson, the senior out of Chandler, Arizona, transfer from Cal Berkeley. Came in over in the spring. Again, trying to go. Anderson and Sedgwick there. Sedgwick falling backwards, still able to get a touch. And a pin. Sedgwick. And the Baylor block is getting it done.
Hannah Sedgwick with 4 blocks on the night already. So averaging 2 blocks per set, not something you typically spit out about a setter. So kudos to Hannah Sedgwick.
Mentioned one of the best blocking setters in the country, and uses that 6'1" frame very effectively as Eladia comes back. Does Candelaria Herrera. Baylor, they have that strong block, averaging 2.66 stuffs a set. Really a point of pride for the Bears is looking to close out this second set. Herrera. Harrison, it took a touch. Sanyo over to Holdhouse. Able to get it through. Big point there for the Cyclones. Courtesy of Alexis Engelbrecht. Sophomore out of North Carolina. Engelbrecht with her first kill of the match. Newsom looking to send the Cyclones on a run. A diving Bramschreiber able to keep it up. Well off the mark, and the Bears make it set point. And as you so correctly said, Baylor really starting to pull away as it gets late in the sets. We saw that in set number 1 and the same here in set number 2.
Yeah, I think a lot of times teams also have, okay, when you get to 20, that's when we really limit errors. We play consistent. Baylor's done just that.
House. And Popovich unable to get it back to the Bears, so the Bears take the all-important 2-0 lead. We mentioned with that extra COVID year, 6 of them electing to stay an extra year, so 6 seniors competing in their 5th year of collegiate eligibility, and then you have 5 true seniors as well for the Bears. And Iowa State flipping the script, so to speak, as they take the first point here in set number 3, and that is a good start for the visitors from Ames. Hatch with the kill, her 6th.
Hatch having a great night with that cross-court swing.
Now we'll see what Christy Johnson-Lynch's side has backs against the wall, and if they're going to continue things. We mentioned their regular season wraps up tomorrow night here in Waco. The Bears still 2 matches on the road as they will be at OU coming up Tuesday and Wednesday evening of this coming week. No doubt the Cyclones want to get some victories here, but that is going to be a tall task against number 7. Harrison put it on the spot. It looked like Harrison may have taken a bit off of that, went with precision instead of power.
She did. You'll see her do that sometimes. She has such a heavy swing, but almost to the point that the defense, she'll notice they're back on their heels and take a little off and be really successful with that off-speed shot.
Skinner, Hatch receiving. Now back to Hatch. Presley able to wrap it around the antenna. Sienna Presley, unanimous first team All Big 12 Player of the Year. Mentioned first in kills for Baylor, what she's been able to do. Now over, coming into tonight, it was 2,263.
Yeah, I think the craziest thing to me with that is there's kind of this line in college volleyball of rally scoring era and non-rally scoring era. So rally scoring era where you get a point every time, you get a stat every time. Non-rally scoring where you only can score when you serve. So games were longer, lots more stats, lots more kills. And so the fact that she has been playing in the rally scoring era and now has beat the record for non-rally scoring, just, I mean, it's like she's playing a different game and still winning statistics, which is incredible.
Petrie, the freshman out of Council Bluffs, with the service error. Now Bramschreiber. Oh, the floater returns the favor with a service error of her own. Brooke Anderson, senior from Wisconsin, on. Leaders in sets played this year for the Cyclones. She's been one of the stalwarts there for the Siding Cardinal in gold.
Wow, Presley Anderson with the kill.
Presley Anderson has been, we've seen her with the blocks, has 3, and that is her first kill tonight for the Bears. Went from one Bear to another there in California, now here in Central Texas. I guess technically that's a golden Bear there for Cal.
Yeah, but similar.
Anderson. Now Sedgwick over to Harrison. The let goes, went over there, caught it.
And we've talked a lot about Skinner tonight with 10 kills on 14 total attempts, but Lauren Harrison right behind her with 8 kills. She's hitting .250, having quite the night for Lauren Harrison.
Yassiana Presley letting them do it. Presley just 5 kills, and a lot of players be happy for that by her illustrious standards.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem too worried about that when you have teammates the caliber of Skinner and Harrison. Why not?
Right, and I think if you're Ryan McGuire, you're sitting here thinking, like, this is the dream, right? I have all these different players that can get up to 20 kills on any given night. Definitely hard to scout against.
Harrison able to get it through. There's Cyclones there, but neither able to come away with it. Rhodes. Excuse me, rather Engelbrecht there. Couldn't come away with the block. Holdhouse has it right back. Eleanor Holdhouse has 5 kills tonight. Senior from Minnesota leading the Cyclones in overall kills and kills per set. Point will be with Iowa State. Skinner. Heading our way. I was expecting you to dig that one.
I thought about it, but they haven't warmed up, haven't stretched.
Fair enough. We need you.
The ball comes over here more than you would think. I'm like, what on earth? They don't prepare you for this.
We do not have the depth of bench. In fact, we have none, so I appreciate you staying in the match.
Sure, sure.
Holdhouse, Presley,
Wow.
that one redirected over. Bit of luck there for the Bears. Sedgwick saw it, eyes in the back of the head.
She really must.
I have no idea how she saw that opening.
3 kills on 4 attempts on the night for Hannah Sedgwick. That is your setter.
Coleman on there had the serve. Bree Coleman, the senior out of California.
Yeah, Coleman comes in pretty regularly for Baylor as the serving specialist, and I just absolutely love it because she'll come in off the bench, kind of bring this spark of energy for this Baylor team.
Holdhouse, 2-time All Big 12 first team selection. Skinner. She can do it with precision. She can do it with power. She is getting it done tonight. Now 12 kills for Avery Skinner.
Callie Williams back to serve for Baylor, the daughter of Baylor's associate head coach, Jason Williams. So one of the seniors being recognized tomorrow night, but pretty special to have your dad on the sidelines for that.
Special indeed for both of them, for father and daughter. In a lot of way, a 2-0 advantage and up 11-6 here in the third. Cyclones trying to get something and into the block. Parise along with Presley.
I mean, that one felt like they were just kind of there waiting on it. They kind of walked right into that one. Parise with a really, really clean and early block.
You saw Parise just looking. Are they really? Okay, I guess they are. Williams. Holdhouse dug out by Briseno, now over to Skinner. Skinner, another one of those powerful swings. Trying to get Hatch going. Hatch looked to go down the line. Found her spot. Well-placed swing there from Annie Hatch. Iowa State is going to find a way back into this. You think a lot of it is going to have to come from number 9. Williams back to Skinner. Skinner just pulled back and let it fly.
Makes for 14 kills on the night for Avery Skinner. Never get tired of saying how many kills she has.
Beautiful set from Williams, and Skinner did the rest. Now we'll head back to serve. Transfer from Kentucky, her sister Maddie there with the Wildcats. Back to Skinner it comes. Harrison unable to get it by Herrera. Hilaria Herrera has been absent for large portions of this match, and that is not good for the Cyclones.
Great block by Iowa State.
Mitchell there as well, the senior right side. Looking for Herrera. Presley able to get it through. Hatch there, and Hatch doing it on both sides. Coach McGuire looking on. They're still enjoying this 4-point advantage, make it 5. I won't say it's been easy tonight by any stretch for the Bears. It's certainly been a fight, particularly early in set number 1 and 2, but seem to have found a bit of momentum there at the end of the second set that had carried over here into the third.
Yeah, I think they've really just rid this momentum of some key players showing up big in Avery Skinner and Lauren Harrison, and they've really been able to key on that because Iowa State just hasn't found a way to slow either of them down.
So much talent, some of those players that maybe not always atop the press clippings. We've seen Presley Anderson as well in the block. Harrison couldn't control it. Good serve there from Anderson for the Cyclones. Ace for Anderson. We'll see if she can continue. Maybe the broadcast was cursed. The service error for Anderson. Presley been working on her serve. I won't go so far as to say it was a weakness in her game. I don't know that that exists. This one, little miscommunication there at the time from Herrera. Coach McGuire did mention that that was something that Yassiana Presley had been working on.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Presley such a special player. It's that it's not really weaknesses she's working on. It's things that she wants to get as good as her hitting.
Presley, Herrera, able to find a way through with Harrison and Anderson both there at the net for the Bears. Out of San Juan, Argentina, there in the northwestern portion of the country by Chile, is the national team member, and that is the third time tonight we have seen Sedgwick show off the eyes in the back of the head and said, hey, if you're going to give it to me.
Oh, I love that from Hannah Sedgwick.
We'll call that opportunistic, and that is a compliment. If it's there, take it.
Right.
Briseño. Sedgwick for Anderson, reaching back, and the Bears will take it. All smiles on their side of the court.
I think that chemistry right there, you're kind of seeing Sedgwick and Anderson laugh with one another. The set was a little bit low, and Presley Anderson just found a way to say, hey, this is what I do with that ball, find a way to score.
Bears have done that all match. They've done that all season. They've just found a way, even if it hasn't been perfect. Sedgwick, Anderson.
Wow. The right place at the right time.
Absolutely. Another opportunity, no mistake. There's that Sedgwick to Anderson combination you talked about. Former All Pac-12 honoree, the Arizona native and former Cal Berkeley, and they let Briseño happy to take that one. Baylor now 4 points away from closing this one out in straight sets. Talented freshman out of San Antonio.
Bram Schreiber sneaks it out.
Over to Skinner. Skinner, did it take a touch? It did not. Newsom trying to get something going. Trying to at least extend this to the fourth for the Cyclones. Baylor with a 9-point lead here in the third. Old house, Anderson on the spot. Sedgwick. Great rally here. Sedgwick.
Oh. Call on that one was a lift. Take another look. Tough to tell from that angle, but they seem pretty definitive up on the ref stand. But Hannah Sedgwick going for it again.
Quick whistle, and Sedgwick had set twice there in that rally and said, I'll do it myself. And this time, hey, go back to the well.
Wow.
If it's not broke.
Wow, Avery Skinner, 15 kills on the night. And that one had a little extra something to it. Love taking another look at that. Straight down, cross court.
Say check the PSI on that ball after that swing. Elise McGee coming on for the Bears, the freshman out of San Antonio Clark. Coleman to serve. They were 3 away from the straight sets victory tonight. Coleman there. McGee. Holthouse able to get it by Skinner and Parise at the net and comes up with the kill. Again, these two teams, they will reset it for the second and final match tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time. Here is Holthouse comes with the ace. When we start looking ahead to tomorrow, keep our focus here.
Yeah.
Holthouse saying we're not done just quite yet. Skinner. A beautiful set. Some of that focus may have been on Parise, and Skinner rising.
Skinner has just been such a force all night long for this Baylor offense.
Williams, crowd grows quiet. And that one just set up perfectly at the top of the net. Match able to take it. Stone Street taking over the libero from Popovich. Again, Hatch. One more opportunity. Ramschreiber diving to keep it up. Another great rally. McGee has it sent back, unable to get it by Herrera. Cyclones, they've cut the deficit to 5. Stone Street. And able to find her target. The Bears make it match point. And appropriately enough, it'll be Avery Skinner. See if she can close it out. Big dig from Bramshire. McGee unable to get it by Hatch. Cyclones stay alive, at least for the time being, as Petrie comes on to serve, the former Class 1A Player of the Year in Iowa High School classification. Hatch and McGee. Parise combining for the block. That will do it. The Bears take it in 3. 25-19, 25-17, and 25-19 for Baylor.
Baylor with a really clean sweep against Iowa State on this first night, behind 16 kills from Avery Skinner. What a night for Skinner and the Baylor Bears. And here's the thing, Kit, we get to do it all over again tomorrow night.